So even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created.
I am the God of hellfire, and I bring you
Lynn Ertell, all the way from Baltimore, Maryland. Hello, Lynn.
Turn it up, I can't hear it. Turn it up, I can't hear it. Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up, turn it up, turn it up. I can't hear it. Turn it up, I can't hear it. Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up. When I pick a song, it's about a subject that I'm addressing.
Benton says Lynn for president. Are you running?
Presidents are stooges. The president is the crisis actor in chief. I'd rather be like Stalin, like a commissar, you know? I'd rather have real power, you know? Don't even take me there. You know, Brian called me up, Brian from Brian and Jenna.
All right, Biochar Brian.
Brian Jenna wanted me to mention the fact that he's got a lot of Trojan horses and stalking horses and shills in the conspiratainment world that are pushing memes directly from communitarian law. And one of these is the phrase, the intentional community. Turn it up, turn it up, I can't hear it.
I heard that.
Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up.
I heard that.
Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up, I can't hear it.
I heard that.
Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up.
I heard that.
And I'm over-blaming groups like Catholics, the Jews, the Jesuits. I name the individuals who have committed crimes for which they ought to be arrested and convicted and turn it up, turn it up, turn it up. Subject to some pretty severe punishment. Things like racketeering and treason, not just fraud. I'd rather be like Stalin, like a commissar, you know? I'd rather have real power, you know? Don't even take me there. Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up. I can't hear it.
I heard that.
Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up.
I heard that.
Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up. I can't hear it.
I heard that.
Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up.
I heard that.
But I'm not talking about Jews, Jesuits, Catholics, blacks, whites. I'm pointing at shills.
So who do you want to know if it was that they were just?
I don't care if they were or not. Guys, come over to FAK1200. If it's good, you're gonna find it on FAK1200. Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up, turn it up. Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up. And we don't have ads on FAK1200. Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up, turn it up.
No, there's no ads yet.
Right. Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up. I can't hear it. Guys, come over to FAK1200.
All right. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, and good night, everyone. It is Tuesday, January the 20th, 2026. It's the Fakeologist Show with Lynn Ertell. We're going to be talking about MLK again, or more of. Oop. Wait, Lynn, take it away.
Well, just briefly, I wanted to pick up where you left off last night for just a few minutes because I want to explore the George Floyd death hoax in the context of everything that is going on in Minneapolis, Minnesota right now with the alleged ICE raids and all the events that are stirring things up.
Yeah,
because
things are happening right now, aren't they?
Yeah, the George Floyd death hoax is really, it's like a template. It's like kind of like a 9/11 in a way. It's a turning point. But anyway, here is this interview with
Coretta
and the family. And it's just a few months after the assassination. Well, let's see. The assassination was on April 4th.
It was at Christmas time.
Yeah, this is Christmas time, so it's December. So when you looked at this, you looked at the faces of the children.
Yeah.
And I,
Well,
yeah, and you know, I'm a big proponent of the idea that you can evaluate the fakeness of these events by the post-event narrative performances and plot twists. In other words, leaving aside the original event, well, this shooting occurred, or this bombing occurred, this terrorist attack, we deconstruct how they spin the narrative after the fact for weeks and months and years afterwards. And we critically evaluate the post-event performances of the actors involved, as well as the plot twists that they add to the ongoing narrative. We look for evidence of scripting. We look for the recycling of themes and what Joe Atwill calls typology, which are repeated archetypes, the same theme over and over and over again. And in this particular, and in the context of the performances, we're looking at what I identify, or what psychologists call, extreme inappropriate emotional affect, or inappropriate absence of emotional affect. Now, sometimes someone can be so numb with grief after a loss that they can't even express themselves, that it's hard to even talk. But other times, if they're laughing and smiling and giggling, like a Robbie Parker or a Dr. Wayne Carver or a Lynn McDonald, who allegedly lost her little child, Grace. Oh, God, if you look at that interview with Anderson Cooper, she can't control her giggling and her smiling and her laughing. And we, psychologists, formally identify extreme inappropriate emotional affect as explained by only one of two things: psychopathology or fakery. Either they're an authentic psychopath, and it really is overjoyed at the loss of a parent or a child or a friend, or they're just an actor playing a role and they're doing a lousy job of it. They're putting on a lousy performance so that the duping delight leaks, it seeps through. Because if they're an amateur actor, if they don't have a lot of experience like these Hollywood professionals, and maybe they're not even wearing a disguise like a silicone mask, they're going to feel nervous. They're going to feel awkward. And that's what you see with that Robbie Parker performance that I think is classic for this. So I want to look at this interview with Coretta Scott King, the grieving widow, and the alleged children of Martin Luther King, because we do have a lot of, in the case of Charlie and Erica Kirk, it's pretty clear that somehow or other they adopted those children or put the children in there, and there are indications that they're not the real biological children of Charlie and Erica Kirk. But this started with the Nesbitt children, who it looks like they were borrowed by Barack and Michelle Obama so that they could project this image of the wholesome all-American family.
Yeah.
When in fact the Nesbitt children bear a distinct resemblance to the Nesbitts. The Nesbitts are a professional family. I believe the wife is supposed to be a doctor, an OBGYN, and she supposedly supervised the in vitro transplant of embryos. And I suppose that's why we never really saw any pictures of Michelle Obama in a state of pregnancy. But this practice of, if you're running somebody for president, you're running for senator, they're playing a role, and the role calls for them to have a normal family. You got to produce kids. So they borrow the kids. And that's essentially what we're seeing happen. Now, I'm not saying that that's the case here with the Kings, but what I want you to watch is not just the grinning and the smiling and the nervous giggling of the kids, but the demeanor of the widow, Coretta Scott King, And I feel a really strange performance she gives here. So I'm going to play this.
Have you seen this before? Before I found it?
Yeah, look, maybe you don't remember, but this assassination of Martin Luther King triggered the worst rioting in United States history.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't around, but I was barely around. So you knew
we
that.
now know that a half a dozen different federal and state police agencies had him under 24-hour-a-day surveillance at that moment in 1968.
Okay.
He was in Memphis to organize in support of a sanitation workers strike. I don't know if they were striking for union recognition or a raise or what, but he was holding marches and rallies and demonstrations, and it was a tense, very tense situation. But we know it's now documented that the U.S. military had him under observation, and especially the Alabama National Guard had an intelligence unit right there observing the Lorraine Motel where King was staying. So in the aftermath of his alleged assassination, which we were later told was committed by James Earl Ray, who ended up in England. They ended up picking him up in England. Somehow, this ex-convict managed to get papers and get out of the country and had this ridiculous story behind him. But the assumption was that it was the government that killed King. Everybody believed this. And there were massive riots. I want to tell you, in Baltimore, down the road from me, they actually had to bivouac the National Guard. The governor called out the Maryland National Guard, and they were bivouacked right there on the grass median strip of Broadway from North Avenue all the way down to Fells Point, to the harbor, because there had been rioting in East Baltimore. A location where my father worked in the heart of East Baltimore on Asquith Avenue was a commercial laundry. And they were very concerned that they were going to get torched, as had happened to many other areas of the city. Very strange. Well, not so strange, maybe, but when these riots occur, these people tend to burn down their own neighborhoods.
Yeah.
That's a very characteristic attribute of African American rioting in the United States. They burn down their own neighborhoods. Very strange.
You don't think they have other people from outside doing the...
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. And because there was about, I would say, 30, 40 African Americans working at this business establishment where my father was, he drove a truck and he managed, it was a laundry, a commercial laundry.
Yeah, for hospitals and such.
Yes, all the workers posted big signs in the windows that said, "Soul Brothers work here. Soul Brothers work here." Term soul brother, hey, soul brother. That was, you didn't say homie or my homeboy. You call him a soul brother or soul sister. That's
right.
That's not used at all now. They don't use that terminology. But they posted signs in the windows, "Soul Brothers work here." And this business establishment, as a consequence, escaped arson and destruction, whereas down the street, other businesses were burned. Of course, one of the issues allegedly provoking this was the fact that even in the blackest of black neighborhoods in Baltimore, the businesses tended to be owned by white people, even the small businesses. And now we have the same situation with the Koreans, that in many of these most depressed, economically depressed African-American neighborhoods, most of the solvent businesses are being run by Koreans. And there's always been this resentment of the fact that they don't own the businesses themselves. And that's a whole nother issue to be examined and analyzed for various reasons. But anyway, this business was spared. Where I grew up, out in Baltimore County, I would say a half hour from downtown Baltimore, out in the suburbs, quiet, peaceful, comfortable. We were actually restricted they actually had to issue for about a week or two curfews, not only in Baltimore City, but in Baltimore County. And we were restricted after dark by a curfew imposed by the Baltimore County Executive and by the governor of Maryland. So the fear and the anxiety surrounding these riots was extensive. There were neighborhoods of Washington, D.C. and Baltimore and Detroit that never, ever recovered from these particular riots. And as I say, the George Floyd riots that we saw in May, June, July of 2020, 2020, I guess it would be 2020. Yeah, 2020. Really at the high watermark of the COVID lockdowns. These were the biggest since the Martin Luther King assassination riots. So why am I spending time on this? Because if you're too young to remember, this was a big effing deal. It was a big deal, this event.
Yeah.
The nation was horribly traumatized, maybe even worse than the JFK event in Dallas, which was shocking at the time. But this obviously had racial undertones, which really filled it with distress and anxiety and everything else. So watch this interview bearing that in mind. I'm only going to play a minute or two of it.
He visited last Saturday with Coretta King and her 4 children. I must say they are a handsome and healthy and pretty happy-looking
they look
bunch
happy.
of children. And Yogi especially.
Oh, she's happy.
I imagine that she must
Teenagers
have been
happy.
a real consolation at the time of
And
the
she's
tragedy.
happy too.
Yes, she was, Mike. She was really so much of a consolation to me because of the way she accepted this with so much understanding and so much courage, and it was so reassuring to me. And she said to me, "Mommy, I'm not going to cry because my dad is not dead. He may be dead physically. And one day, I'm going to see him again." And she
Yeah,
said,
tomorrow.
"Mommy, you are such a brave and strong lady. I don't
Did you
know
see
what
the
I'd
eyes
do
go
if I
up
were
for
in
the
your
lie?
shoes.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Mommy, should I hate the man who killed my dad in?"
how do they know who killed their
And I
dad?
said, "No, darling.
He wasn't picked up till a
Daddy
year
wouldn't
later.
want you to do that."
Yeah. Assume it was a
And
man.
of course, I also said to her, "You are so brave, and I'm so proud of you." And I put my arms around her. And of course, she didn't cry very much. I didn't see her crying anymore, really. And
So look, this guy Martin Luther King, I don't even think he was sleeping with his wife Coretta at this
Who
point.
knows? Who knows? Yeah.
Yeah, he was famous for, there was all kinds of,
Slanderer.
oh yeah, and the FBI had this on tape, and this was well known inside the movement. Tell you the truth, most of them were that way. When Jesse Jackson came to town in Baltimore, I was told by an African American guy I knew who had been involved with Jackson's push organization, People United to Save Humanity, and he said, "Oh yeah, whenever Jesse showed up, he was a star. All the fine young girls were lining up to sleep with him." I said, "Well, what about his wife?" "Oh, that didn't matter." This was standard operating procedure with these civil rights leaders, this sleeping around. So, it's not at all
and she
what we see there. Look at the. Do you think she rehearsed this?
No, for sure. I think so. Yeah. Well,
Right,
I don't know.
think, and also
what
it sounds like a script. It's just a little too
yeah,
well
polished.
spoken.
Yeah. There's not any emotion. It's just she's just reading her lines.
Right, and we know what's really going on. My question is, did Mike Wallace know? He had to know.
Oh yeah.
He
Come
had
on,
to know.
Mike.
He had to be in on it. The idea was we were all supposed to share. Every American was supposed to feel guilty for this event. It was our fault. that this happened, see, because of our racism that this happened. And it's pretty clear that whatever actually happened, the narrative was used to manipulate, to psychologically manipulate and guilt trip everyone. And then they came up with the holiday and monuments and turning his house in Atlanta into a national monument, and it became what we call hagiography with saints. Well, now we got the same thing going on with George Floyd. So let me bring that up. So I'm running an extensive thread in our forums.
Okay, I got to find that and put a link to it.
On the George Floyd event. But first, I want to just some details about the George Floyd event, because now they renamed the place, the area in Minneapolis where he allegedly died, the George Floyd Square.
Oh boy.
And it's become so crime infested that businesses have had to move out of there. And one guy who's leaving owned an auto detailing place.
Is this
He's
under
actually
the George Floyd
suing.
death hoax thread? Is that where it is?
What's that?
The George Floyd death hoax?
Yeah, right. The George Floyd death hoax.
That's the thread. Okay.
Right, that's the thread. And I'm going to show you just some details on this. I was on this. Let me tell you something. When this event happened, this George Floyd event, here we go. When this event happened, I was on it like stink on shit. I mean, I wanted to see who was this cop. And then they showed us the mugshot. The mugshot.
You've got who is Derek Chauvin's wife, Kelly Chauvin.
Yeah. Let's deal with that first. Yeah, I bet you didn't know that Derek Chauvin had a wife. There she is. She's a beauty queen and an actress. See? Miss Minnesota. She's the wife of killer cop Derek Chauvin. Derek was found guilty of second-degree unintentional murder, third-degree murder, and second-degree manslaughter in the death of George Floyd. Judge announced the verdict 4 p.m. local time on April 20th, etc. He had signed a guilty plea and was sentenced to, I don't know, whatever he was sentenced to. But anyway, listen to this. Spoke briefly.
She was a radiologist and a beauty queen.
Here he is. Now, here he is speaking.
Give any input to the court. And so I turn it over to you and your attorney.
Thank you, Your Honor. At this time, due to some additional legal matters at hand, I'm not able to give a full formal statement at this time. But very briefly, though, I do want to give my condolences to the Floyd family.
All right, I don't care about that performance because
I never saw that. Since when does the accused speak?
Exactly. His lawyer would never allow that. But that's not Derek Chauvin, because we got a mugshot of Derek Chauvin. And this is the mugshot. These are mug shots. And this is the Derek Chauvin who later appeared in court. This guy down here on the lower right.
I don't see that. You got to change the screen.
Right.
Change the screen and we'll see it.
Oh, you didn't see the one of him talking?
No, we saw that.
Okay. Right. Let's do a search on mugshot. I mean, it's so crazy. Derek Chauvin.
The ears are different, or maybe they're not. I
What do you
don't
mean
know.
the ears? The whole face is different.
Well, we
The
don't
whole
know.
face is different.
They could have taken. Yeah, I know.
All
They
right,
could
here is the face from the mugshot. Okay. Oh God, it's so instantaneous when I see it.
Okay, just keep trying. If you keep
I don't know
the
why
shot,
you're still
if you
showing
keep,
Coretta Scott King up there because I
well,
took
that's
that
my
down.
screen. That's my screen.
Okay.
When you close yours, mine shows up. That's how it works.
All right. So I'm gonna share the mugshot. Oh boy.
I think we've talked about this before, Lynn. And
It's not enough for me. It's not enough because
it's a different person.
it's completely different. They don't look anything alike. They don't look anything like. I'll show them side by side in case.
Yeah, we see
the
it.
one on this one right here on the right hand side. That's from the mugshot.
Yeah.
That's a frontal from the mugshot. But let me show them side by side. All right. So look, here's the one. Here's the one you just saw talking in court.
Yeah. It looks like.
Ben Bailey of Cash Cab.
Oh, I was gonna say it looks like one of the Three Stooges.
Yeah.
Early. The bald
In this
one.
close-up, they appear to be attempting a merger, a morph of two very different faces. If that's what they did in CGI, I don't know, but that and that. Now, oh boy, I saw this right away. I saw it right away, and I said, "Oh my God, what are they doing? How are they getting away with this? What are they doing?" And no one else saw it. No one else commented on it. Now, of course, there's a whole new narrative emerging. Oh, there's more on this. So I showed you Derek Chauvin's wife, the beauty queen from Laos.
From Laos, yeah.
Yeah. Or Thailand. It wasn't entirely clear. And she divorced him after he was convicted. But apparently, former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin and his now ex-wife underreported their taxable income from 2014 to 2019. Ex-Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin, who was serving a 22-year sentence for killing George Floyd, has pleaded guilty to tax fraud. He admitted to 2 counts of aiding and abetting tax fraud after he and his now ex-wife underreported their taxable income between 2014 and 2019. Now, the event itself, in which he allegedly killed George Floyd, occurred in April of 2020. Chauvin was sentenced to 13 months in prison and ordered to pay restitution for the tax fraud, underreporting tax income. The May 2020, so it was May 2020 killing of Floyd, an unarmed black man, led to mass protests and riots around the United States. Chauvin and his ex-wife, Kelly Mae Chauvin, were charged with tax crimes shortly after Floyd's killing. She pled guilty to the same charges last month and is expected to be sentenced to community service at a hearing in May. So she won't do any time behind bars for this. The disgraced ex-officer entered his plea on Friday in a virtual hearing from a federal prison in Tucson, Arizona. He wasn't even in court to be sentenced for the tax evasion. Right. And it goes on. Chauvin worked part-time security jobs that were separate from his work as a police officer and failed to report to tax officials over $95,000 in cash payments that he received for the work. Kelly Chauvin.
Wow, he got cash for security? That seems unlikely. Okay.
Yeah, according to the Minneapolis Star Tribune newspaper, Officials began to suspect tax fraud after interviews with Chauvin's father,
He turned his son in.
an accountant who prepared his 2415 to 2015 taxes. One day after tax documents were taken from Chauvin's home by detectives, Kelly Chauvin called her husband in jail to say that investigators were looking into their tax returns.
Sounds like a very fake story if I ever heard one.
But it kind of explains how someone can be induced to participate as a crisis actor in an event like this.
Yeah.
Now, we've got this YouTube channel out there called Alpha News with somebody named Liz Collins, who has interviewed Tucker Carlson. She's kind of a mainstream journalist. And apparently, there is now an effort to spring Chauvin from prison on the grounds that there was a total miscarriage of justice during his trial for the death of George Floyd. Can we see this now?
Oh, yeah.
So, Derek, you've been moved now to your third federal facility. How are you getting through every day?
It's not easy. When I was in the former facility in Arizona, I at least had somewhat of a routine as far as having some type of a job there and doing some...
So this is about, he's alleged to have been stabbed in prison.
Did it say 22 times? 2-2?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Did it say he was stabbed 22 times? Is that what I saw?
I don't remember. I don't pay attention to the numbers, really.
Oh,
Numerology doesn't mean much to me.
No, it does. What if it, to me, it's hoax code.
But here's...
By the way, do you want to take a phone call?
Is that Derek Chauvin or not? Is that the guy who has his knee on George Floyd's neck or not?
Not from the original photo we saw.
Of course not. It looks nothing like him.
Okay, do you want to take a phone call in?
Yeah, all right, go ahead.
All right.
Hold time, 2 minutes, 46 seconds.
All right, caller in. Where are you calling from? What's your name?
Hey, fakeologist. Hey, Lynn. It's Jay from Texas.
Hey, Jay. Hey, Jay.
Hey, hey, Lynn, that looks like his doppelganger, right?
Well,
that's what it looks like, right?
Look at that. See that picture right there? That is the primary evidence that was presented in court during his prosecution for the death of George Floyd. Right there. Is that the same guy we're just looking at, or isn't it obvious?
No. It only looks like there's only like very few similarities, but not really. They look different. It's almost like when you look at pictures of Putin when he got elected, and then look at it now. His whole facial skeleton structure.
These guys don't even look remotely alike. The one on the right.
The only thing they look alike is just like, I guess, their complexion and their faintest little thing, but that's it.
The one on the right looks 10 to 15 years younger than the one on the left. He looks younger.
But you know, people have you seen the third picture of him? There was a third picture that came out too. That they had like 3 different pictures, and they all look different, very similar but different. Almost like it was a younger to older field. You know what I mean? Almost like AI. If AI showed you, hey, what do I look like when I get older? You know what I mean?
Right. People identified the one on the left, who is from the original fake snuff film, as Ben Bailey, a reality TV character who had starred on a show called Cash Cab that I never watched. And
I seen that show. It was on HBO.
Yeah, he does look really, he does look like that Ben Bailey. But what I'm not wrapping my head around here is how all these people could be unaware of this. You know, these two Derek Chauvins right here, both of them were featured on different days in the New York Post. So whoever at the New York Post, probably not even a human, that was covering this story, they showed both of these two different individuals and didn't have any problem with it.
Because they're trying to make us, they're bringing their scripts that they do amongst their
a bombshell filing.
What they call royalty. You know how, when there's like fake deaths, or you see like
externalization of the hierarchy, revelation of the method, all this crap.
Yeah,
hey,
yeah.
Watch this a second. Watch this a second, because this is the effort now to spring him from jail.
Alleging prosecutorial misconduct in Derek Chauvin's trial goes viral as the city of Minneapolis lets their assistant police chief off the hook for allegations of perjury in the state's highest profile murder case in history. We have the latest developments next. Latest developments and what is basically...
Yeah, look at this guy on the right, this lawyer with his cravat or whatever the hell he's wearing. His gay scarf bullshit.
Probably an androgyne covering up on...
Right. That's Derek Chauvin right there.
In response to that statement, Elon Musk even weighed in on X.
That's Derek Chauvin, I guess, when he was younger.
I'm telling you.
That's Derek Chauvin there. That's the evidence that he killed somebody.
It's all fake. It's all just one big, they're all actors. And it's crazy. It's all in Minneapolis too. The same thing with George Floyd. Now you got this. And then was this story that you showed me? It's recent, right? They're talking about bringing him out like recently, right? Like trying to, perfect.
Yeah, they're appealing, and there's more here. Here's an interview with his lawyer who says he's not guilty. Now watch.
More than 5 years after the arrest and heart attack of George Floyd, former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin is still fighting for a fair trial. An exclusive update on the status of his case and a look at those helping behind the scenes next. Joseph, the attorney representing former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin. Greg, thank you for being here. Anniversary, if you will, of the George Floyd riots. There was all this talk about a presidential pardon not that long ago for Derek. So a pardon is one thing. You've been focused on the fact that your client...
By the way, I'm convinced that original shot with him with his knee on the dummy, I'll bet that was taken from a training exercise. But they're not admitting that.
Never had a fair and impartial trial in the first place.
So they're
I can't hear the lawyer.
And it's unjust. It was unjust then, and it's unjust today.
Let's see if we can catch.
It's with him over the past few months. He's really gotten a clearer picture of what was done.
That's the different
and
one.
It's unjust. It was unjust then, and it's unjust today that he's sitting in prison as we speak.
There he is again.
Derek's not guilty. He knows that.
Now look, what is going through the head of this lawyer right here? Are you telling me he's unaware of all this? He's committing subordination of perjury. That's what he's doing, and maybe committing perjury himself. He's an officer of the court, and he's perpetrating a fraud.
That I know that, but more importantly, we have fair trials in this country. We don't have trials for the sake of having trials. We have fair trials, and if you don't get a fair trial, that's a problem. So that's what we're here to fix.
This jury has, despite all best efforts, has been bombarded with information.
There he is again.
That it's all fake.
Be fair. Yeah, this is a CIA trial, Lynn.
Against us for our book, they're lying, and then the doc.
A CIA psyop trial, right?
Suffice it to say that, full.
The problem I have with
psyop trial
is that the cognitive look, not all lies are created equal. Not all psyops are created equal. Not all show trials are created equal. The show trials that Stalin ran between 1935 and I guess 1938-39, where he purged.
The purges of the army officers.
Yeah, army officers and everything else. A lot of those guys confessed. They actually confessed. Whether they were tortured, who knows? But
because they had like a gun, but then even then,
well, the thing is,
then we got about 20 minutes. I want to get to some.
I know I'm stuck on this because I don't understand how something. I said, well, I'm curious about this. Who is this cop? Then I saw the mugshot. When I saw the mugshot, I said, wait a minute. The guy in the mugshot looks 15 years younger than the guy with his knee on George Floyd. Doesn't anybody else see this?
Yeah, but they won't put it on. They won't put anybody on the media who would say that. But Lynn, I have there's some more fake stuff that I want to tell you because you know about Mark Levin, right, Lynn?
Oh yeah, he's
right. Okay.
The great one they call him. Mark Levin, the great one.
And you know Nick Fuentes, right?
Of course, Nick Fuentes. By the way, I want to remind everyone: every time Nick Fuentes' name comes up, you can watch the video. There are many of Nick Fuentes on January 6th standing.
Jay, is that your background noise?
Jay, I don't know where that's coming from.
Yeah,
that's
bad.
Jay's.
That was me.
Nick Fuentes. This is important because this is how you identify FBI confidential informants and professional agent provocateur. Nick Fuentes is standing right there on the rostrum with a bullhorn, loudly exhorting everybody to take the Capitol. We got to go inside, take the Capitol. He wasn't the only one doing that. Ollie Alexander was up there doing that. Alex Jones was up there doing that. I'm saying without any qualification that Nick Fuentes is a freaking Fed. And that's my primary. He led those people into the Capitol, into that
here's
trap.
Some more evidence on that, Lynn. Here's some more evidence in that, Lynn. The reason I said Mark Levin at him, apparently Nick Fuentes got a gold offer, a gold deal, a precious metal sponsorship from the same precious metal sponsorship that sponsors Mark Levin. And it's in like 7 figures. He got it.
All right.
So
hey, Lynn, let's do a little Trump talk, if you don't mind. Because we only got.
Okay, but I got to go, okay?
Thank you, Jay.
Go. You have a good one.
Take care of those people in the background, a little noisy.
I'm sorry about that.
That's all right. Thank you, Jay.
You know, I make this argument often.
Yes.
Some truths are debatable or arguable to a greater or lesser degree.
Okay.
Others are self-evident. The use of 2 completely different looking actors to play the role of Derek Chauvin in the George Floyd death hoax and psyop is a self-evident truth.
I agree.
It's in your effing face, people. And everyone sees it and everyone knows it. But they pretend not.
Jacques says you're preaching to the choir. We already know all this. Okay, let's we only got 15 minutes left. I want your commentary on the latest Trump, Greenland, and where you see it all fit with a future America 2050. Do you think there's anything to it? Where do you think this is all going? That kind of thing. I know you like current events.
Well, yeah. First of all, NATO is a fraud.
Okay.
It's a vast money laundering operation, and Ukraine has made that crystal clear. I have called Ukraine Hunter Biden's war.
Mm-hmm.
I've said that Ukrainian oligarchs, it's a vast money laundering operation, and Ukrainian oligarchs blackmailed the Biden administration into paying for it.
Right.
Because of all the money from Burisma and other corrupt deals that went to the Biden syndicate. And consequently, Republicans who support this do so because they're compromised, obviously. Now, you can think of the Greenland thing as a diversion, a distraction, a ridiculous bullshit story, because no matter who is running NATO,
yes,
they will still be buying the same expensive, overpriced weapons systems and surveillance systems from Lockheed Martin, from Raytheon. They're going to be buying from the same American manufacturers. So it doesn't matter what form NATO takes. And now they're creating this complete pseudo-narrative, this fake, phony narrative around the idea that, oh, Trump is jeopardizing NATO. And the Danes are all upset. And, look, none of these countries have called out fakery, ever. They didn't call out these NATO. 9/11 triggered the NATO treaty when these traitors, military officers who staged a small explosion at the Pentagon to simulate the crash of a Boeing jet, badly, I would say, since there was never any evidence of a real plane at the Pentagon, it immediately, instantly activated the NATO treaty. An attack on one is an attack on all. And not a single NATO member, Denmark included, spoke up and said, wait a minute, let's wait. Let's investigate and see what's going on here. Immediately, they all endorsed Donald Rumsfeld and George W. Bush's call for a global war on terror. So whatever is happening around this Greenland bullshit is a play. It's pure drama. And what is so characteristic of the Trump administration is how performative it is. If I were going to send ICE agents into Minnesota, I wouldn't be bragging about it on TV the way Kristi Noem does, coming out in her cosplay outfit. Everything that the Trump administration does is performative. It's all performance for the camera. Tariffs? I wouldn't announce to the whole world, oh, we're going to punish these countries by tariffing all of them. I'd get on the phone quietly and I'd say, hey, we have a problem here with this particular trade deal. We want to work out the differences.
Yeah.
You would never be blasting this stuff out.
So it's all trolling.
Yeah, exactly. That's what's going on.
He's the troll in chief. So what do you think's the end game? What do you think the end game is? Do you think there is a plan to unite?
Yes, I've explained in the
America
forum.
2050.
I've explained in the forum that this is a pivot away from Europe.
Right.
Europe is not reliable. It's been.
So do you go along with
immigrants.
the Promethean ladies? Have you watched them on YouTube? Yeah, the No Agenda show. Yeah, the No Agenda show brought it up.
Oh, not
the LaRouches. You don't like the LaRouches.
Kakinda. Yeah, Susan Kakinda. Well, yeah, I mean, it's like they see a very narrow slice of it. Okay. The idea here is, like the move in Venezuela, where they did they get approval from NATO for that move into Venezuela? Who knows? But the idea is it's to get the public's attention pivoting away from Europe.
Yes.
And that's why they've got to settle this Ukraine business quickly, somehow. Because as long as that's going on, people are still focused on NATO and Europe.
And
they want to phase that out. They want to move to a different kind of globalism.
Mm-hmm.
And basically they're centering it.
America-centric?
They're focusing on the Western Hemisphere.
Yeah.
They're focusing on the Western Hemisphere.
Then we got another caller in. Where are you calling from? What's your name?
This is Sean in Idaho, from the north shore of the Coeur d'Alene River.
Coeur d'Alene River. I watched Nick Johnson go to Coeur d'Alene.
Oh yeah, it's a nice place. I like it up here.
Yeah.
I'm actually east of Coeur d'Alene.
I won't hold it to you.
Towards Montana.
We wouldn't know. Yeah. We wouldn't know.
Beautiful country, man. Gets a little cold, but I'm sure you know about that.
Oh, it's the ice age here today and tomorrow.
Yeah. But by the way, before we go on, someone in the chat room is calling me a shill because I went to an event sponsored for one of the 9/11 passenger victims, and I only had a cheap flip phone in 2011, and because I failed to upload photos from that event, everybody started calling me a shill. Where's your proof? Where's your proof? You're making it up. You're making it up. And that's what this individual in the chat room is doing. My failure to possess an expensive iPhone or Android in 2011, when I went to this event, is being held against me because I was unable to upload pictures, which I could have faked. I could have fabricated them anyway.
I don't know, Frost Eye.
Yeah, I don't know either, but it's obviously somebody's coming in here to smear me and slander me, and they're full of shit.
Okay.
So if
Well,
they want to call in, Frostbite, is that what it's called? A Frosty?
Frost Eye.
Frost Eye. Frost Eye, I dare you to call in.
Call in, Frost Eye.
Yeah,
call in.
Frost Eye.
Yeah, call in. Hey, I wanted to say something about what Lynn was saying.
Go for it.
When you project out, see, you're looking at an administration full of Wall Street people.
Okay. Yeah, what's going on?
When you're projecting out ahead of things like tariffs, all these sensational things, like Ab knows, they move markets, right?
Yeah,
So
the markets
my
are
opinion-
moving. Whoa, are they
And
ever?
I actually, well, yeah, but you can short it too. You can short the market just like you can, long. But
Yes, I do.
I actually know somebody in the administration. But the
Oh, really?
they're all Wall Street people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, I mean, obviously you're gonna front run it. You know what the effect that's gonna have on the market.
Well, you don't. Well, yeah, you don't know if it's going to go up or down, but you know it's going to move.
And I think that's why they throw it out there, then they don't act on it, because really what they're doing is just making billions of dollars on the market.
Well, I agree with you there.
Hey, who would invest right now in any kind of business prospect in Minnesota?
Oh yeah, well, that's
the right mind. Who would invest in California?
And I have a conspiracy for you guys. This is my own. I created this one on my own.
Oh, good. I like it.
I think what's her name? Good. What's her first name?
Renee Good. Renee Nicole Good.
Yeah, Renee. Right, Renee Good.
With the
Nick
Nicole. Yeah.
I think that's Joan Cusack with light makeup.
Joan Cusack. Okay.
Yeah.
I think she's probably a lot older.
The crisis actor, right there. She is older, actually. Now you mention it, but I think with a little bit of that chin. I looked at a couple side by sides on that. I think with that, she's got like a puffier chin.
Okay. Yeah.
And I think that could kind of cover the jowls and stuff. And it's just the eyes and everything else kind of looks to me like Joan Cusack. Yeah. My brother, I said that to my brother, and he laughed and he said, he's like, yeah, it would require a lot of makeup. I'm like, yeah, they have a lot of makeup. It's Hollywood, of course. You could slap makeup on it. Anything. It could make you look like Christy Brinkley. I told him, I said, then you could fuck yourself.
Look at there. Yeah.
But anyway.
Look at there's your Joan Cusack.
I know it's a family show.
Yeah, it was. There's your Joan Cusack. What do you think?
I don't see it. I'm not.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
not
you're not on the thing. Okay, I got a Joan. She's pretty old now. I'm not sure.
Who is Joan Cusack?
That was John Cusack's sister. There were a bunch of actresses and actors and actresses.
Okay.
I would say in the 80s. I thought you would know that, Lynn.
I know who John Cusack is.
Yeah,
I have no idea who Joan Cusack is.
His sister.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, John Cusack, obviously, I've seen many of his movies, but Joan Cusack, I never heard of.
I like John Cusack. He was in a lot of offbeat movies for sure.
Yeah, he's kind of blacklisted a little bit because of his stand on Israel.
Oh, is that right?
So they're both the same. Matter of fact, that's what made me think of Joan Cusack. Is not too long ago she did this rant video about Israel. Nobody cares about your fucking religion. They care that you're genociding people. All that stuff.
Oh, wow.
Did this rant. That's why she kind of was fresh in my mind, and it reminded me of the way that chick was talking and stuff. It just, I don't know. I have to look more into it myself. I just threw that out there. It's just kind of something funny. I looked at her, earlier today, just because she's that woman. Yeah, she looks younger, but makeup can do that. But that just looked like her to me. I just thought I'd throw that out there for everybody to tell me I'm.
John Cusack is described as an apocalyptic shit disturber and elephant trainer. Solidarity among the living. Oh, he's on Blue Sky. All right, another Blue Skyer. So I guess he left. He left Twitter. No, he's still on Twitter.
He's a liberal. Yeah, I'm subscribed to him on Twitter.
Yes, you and 2 million other people.
All right.
Yeah,
he posts a lot of stuff, but I almost thought about unsubscribing or whatever, or
it's a little too liberal for you. Yeah.
A little too liberal, a little too. Yeah. I post a lot of stuff that quotes from people that I don't like, things like that. So I.
There are
keep
a
them
lot
around
of
for now.
people
We'll see
that
what
there are a
happens.
lot of people that buy into this Gaza genocide. It's got to be a psyop onto itself. So I think so many people go on and on about it.
Well, it's gotten a lot of coverage, continuous coverage ever since, October 7th. So of course, people are they're seeing these striking images of buildings being bombed and all this, and of course, they're accepting it as real, as authentic, and I guess they're being traumatized by these images.
Also, one other thing, I watched Wag the Dog this morning.
Okay, great movie.
I had a slow day, and I have never watched it all the way through, and it's almost like an admission.
It is. It's an expose. It's a self-described expose.
Yeah, here's how we control your mind and everything that we do to do it. It's to me that seems just exactly probably how it goes down for the most part.
So Bruce Springsteen is also doing concerts, going on and on about the psyop of the day. He ended the song by saying the song was being played in memory of mother of three and American citizen Renee Good. Man.
Well, so they have another martyr, and there'll be all kinds of hagiography over this martyr. Maybe they'll name a building after her, or they'll put a plaque up with the Tyrannosaurus Rex sculpture they have in the front yard. Who knows what they'll do.
Yeah.
There's nobody's ever named Smith or Johnson or Jones anymore.
Mm-hmm.
These psyops. It's always is weird, and like things like Bertie Madoff with their money, and good. You're supposed to have a good, she's a sweet lesbian, she's good. And
yes, that's right.
It's always the names. I could say, if I looked at it, there's a lot more, but off the top of my head, that's just a few examples.
I think I'm gonna have to unsubscribe to John Cusack. He's just a little too far left for me. I'm taking him off my list. I didn't
know you were subscribed to him too.
No, I just started looking him up. I was just going through it now. I pressed follow. I just unfollowed him. I can't deal with that. That's too much.
Yeah.
But I do like, he is kind of wacky, and he did some wacky movies. So I sometimes enjoy the off the beaten path type of movies, and he was in quite a few of them. I'm sure Lynn might. I thought Lynn might know about them.
Well, the one I remember him for the most.
Say anything.
Was a City Hall with Al Pacino and Danny Aiello.
All right.
City Hall about a corrupt mayor of New York, and there are other roles. What else is John Cusack? He's in a lot of movies.
So what's your take on what's going on in Minneapolis, Sean? Do you think it's real, fake?
I think it's completely, I think the reaction is real.
Yeah.
But the provocations are fake.
Are there really people getting punched around and dragged out of their houses? And
no, I don't believe. I'm with like Phil on this. I mean, I think that ICE is just a troupe of actors, and these things look so fake to me. I mean, these big dramatic scenes. I mean, what a better way to demonize anyone that wants to, basically return the illegals.
Right.
Well, like
as
subgroup bashing heads.
As to whether the protests and riots are real, I want to explain something here, because you guys were talking about last night. You were discussing how is it people actually embrace these narratives and begin to manifest the simulacrum of the narrative. And I was reminded of a scientist named Rupert Sheldrake and his theory of morphic resonance of collective consciousness and collective unconsciousness. The idea that there's almost an invisible resonance, a wave that spreads through the society, and you have stochastic terrorism, right? The media density and repetition shows how they are shaping the narrative by design, right? So the vibe is spread through the society, the loosh, if you will, and people begin to act on it. And, Quantum of Conscience is fond of using the phrase on the download as suggesting that some supernatural, he says the world is so fake and so crazy, like those two pictures of the two different Derek Chauvins. It's so crazy. He says the only way they could make this work is if they were supernatural.
Right.
It has to be some kind of supernatural force that is programming people's minds, and they're all on the download. And of course, this implies the question, how conscious are they? And you posed this question to Tim Osmond last night. We always pose this. You think this person, you think Tucker Carlson is in on it? You think this politician is in on it? You think Trump is in on it? How conscious of this are they? Because if they're not conscious, then they're on the download and they're just being manipulated unconsciously. But I say that's not the case.
Mm-hmm.
It's not intellectual. It's moral or ethical. And my proof of this is Cartesian, self-evident truth, as opposed to debatable or arguable questions. A controlled demolition is a self-evident truth. A grieving parent who's just lost a little child a few hours earlier laughing on camera is a self-evident truth. Two completely different looking individuals playing the role of Derek Chauvin in court even is a self-evident truth. And when people deny a self-evident truth, they become part of the lie. And they know they become part of the lie. And I don't care how many excuses they make for it, they're still damnable liars. And this goes, of course, for everybody who's in the military that has failed to call out 9/11, among other things. For every cop who failed to call out Sandy Hook right off the bat. Actually, you would have thought that the Police Benevolent Association, the fraternal orders, their lodges, their unions, that Minnesota cops would have called out the George Floyd event as fake as soon as they saw that mugshot of Derek Chauvin that I saw almost immediately. I couldn't have been the only one who saw it. And the failure of police and police organizations to say, hey, we didn't do this. This is fake. In order to prevent riots from exploding across the country, it's just like the Muslims who failed to call out 9/11 as an inside job. They want to own it. So I say if the police want to own these fake events, then they're fake themselves and we don't need them. We don't need them.
All right. Well, we're up against the hour. Sean, thanks for calling, unless you got something else.
Yeah. Not really. Just nothing I can put into a few seconds, but thanks for taking the call.
Call back anytime. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sean. Sean from Idaho, Coeur d'Alene, east of there, or west of there. Thank you so much. East of Coeur d'Alene. I'll look it up on a map. All right. Thank you so much. Lynn, thanks a lot. Good show tonight on MLK and mainly on Derek Chauvin. You really got a hard on for the Chauvin.
It's one of those things where I feel like banging my head against the wall and saying, why isn't everybody calling this out? It's so effing obvious. Captain Obvious.
Captain Obvious.
You see where I'm coming from on this?
Yeah, well, you've banged on about it many times before, but you wanted to bring it up today.
Well, we're looking for an explanation for why something so obvious is not being called out by everyone.
Including Tim Walz.
They're corrupt. They're prostituted. They're
cowards. Yeah.
They're whores.
Nobody calls out the fakery. Nobody. Absolutely nobody.
Even when it's obvious. Even when it's in your face. It's in your face.
Yeah. I think they don't want to give away their one secret. Their one thing that keeps working on the people. I think that's what it is. Somehow, some way. Reckon the truth movement was their most successful and effective psyop to date. Well, I don't know, maybe.
No, not necessarily.
Well, Alex
they were
Jones
able to mislead the truth movement, of course, but not. You know something? I don't buy into that. Anybody who was calling it out as an inside job was on the right track. Whether it was whether it was fake or controlled demolitions are real things. So anybody that was calling it out as an inside job, as far as I'm concerned, they were on the right track, and they should have gotten support from firemen, from cops, from honest patriots in the military. No. The truthers who were calling it out as an inside job, they got no support from anyone. And that shows America's finished. Within the first year after 9/11, we said this country's finished. And it is finished. It's over for me. America, you are over for me because of 9/11 and other things, but mainly because of 9/11. New York City, the earth could open up and swallow every one of you, and I wouldn't miss any of you. You're all liars. You're all cowards. You're all damnable traitors to your country for failing to call out 9/11 as an inside job.
All right. Good way to end it, Lynn. Thank you. And tomorrow is Wednesday, Fake News Phil with Jim Rizzoli. Thanks, everyone, for joining. Lynn, thank you so much. And we'll see you next time. Take care, everybody.